Oh, I think I hit it a few seconds early, but that's okay. Here we are once again on Tuesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm getting things from my meters from a second ago. My device was not connected. I am Zach Hval, singer, songwriter, guitar player extraordinaire, here with Musical Hangout, the only live music experience that celebrates both Taco Tuesday and Telly Tuesday. Can you dig it? Here with a little bit of Elysian, a customary libation, Super Fuzz, Blood Orange Pale. Tasty and citrusy, no doubt. And before we begin tonight's offerings, I wanted to take a minute. I'd be remiss if I didn't take a minute to mention something that has been heavy on my heart, and that is the fact that nobody talks about. And I got my cool new Elvis Presley shirt. Can you dig it? Speaking of people that sing the gospel, people don't talk about Little Richard's gospel career enough. Sure, we love to hear him go wop, bop, a bop, and singing about Tutti Frutti. Incidentally, that song Elvis covered on the Ed Sullivan Show, but I also believe to be about a gay orgy. Listen to the words, read the words, fulfill your own conclusions. Be that as it may, nobody talks about Little Richard's gospel career. He did a couple of gospel records. I believe he even has a record called The King of the Gospel Singers, but I'm pretty sure a lot of those cats can make that claim, from his generation. But you get a very different Little Richard. You listen to those recordings, and if some of you follow me on Instagram, you saw this, potentially saw this rant. But there's something about that music. I don't know if I promise you I wasn't drinking when I posted that. Sometimes you just listen to the music and you just feel it, doggone it. But there's something about the performances on those songs and the songs themselves that just speak to you, even if you're not necessarily religious. And that's the sign of good music, a good musician, a good musical performance, and also good music. And I was incidentally not too long ago reading an interview with our friend Bob Dylan, and he was talking about, he made the same argument here I was making, similar, of course. Nothing is original, but he was saying that the reason why people don't talk about it is because gospel music is really a music of peace and love and togetherness, and that doesn't sell, even back in Little Richard and younger Bob Dylan's day, in the same way that Warren Haight did. And you got to think, Bob Dylan is from the hippie generation, the beatnik generation, when it was all peace and love, and all those people ran for office and, became greedy millionaires and, made their money off insider trading and taxed all of us into oblivion. Nevertheless, I digress. The peace and love thing didn't exactly work. It doesn't sell political division, racial division, whether it's division over masks, vaccines, or things like that, it sells far better than a message of unity and a message of hope. And that I find quite disturbing. Because sure, you may not be a religious person yourself, but you can't tell me that some of these gospel songs aren't good songs. Like, the same criteria that makes, a Bob Dylan song a good Bob Dylan song, or an Elvis song, for corn's sake, a good Elvis song, is the same that makes, it's the same criteria. I don't know. I'm probably not making any sense, but these are the things that you think about when you're wearing your nice blue bell-bottom jeans here. You got your Elvis shirt. I'm busting out of the closet here. The Jimmy Page Dragon Telecaster, the 1950. It's a combination of a 58 and 59 Telecaster. For some good old clean fun. I always like to tell people that this is a high-quality replica of the guitar that inspired me to play guitar. Yes, listening to those recordings from Led Zeppelin 1 and the Stairway to Heaven guitar solo led us here today. And that means something. If not to you, it means the world to me. So we're going to have a little bit of Dragon Telecaster fun today. Can you dig it? And we're going to start off with everybody's favorite shuffle tune. It's everybody's favorite because I wrote it, and it seems to be doing well on the new album, my new album, which is streaming at the link in the description, called I Have No Strings, and I Must Play. This tune is called The Sinister Shuffle. I hope you'll dig it. Something like that. I always forget that. I try to add the but I almost forgot it. Alrighty, we're cruising. Almost spilled something. Cruising along for a gristle and bruise and something like that. Hey, here's an old one. We're going to start experimenting, ladies and gentlemen. Now that the new album is out, we're going to mix and match a little bit these next couple of weeks here. I did a couple of weeks ago the old blues standard Sweet Home Chicago. I don't know why I almost forgot it. It's been a strange couple of weeks for the Z-Man. So we're going to start throwing in some old blues standards in here just for corn's sake, just to see what happens. Boy, we are really summoning the ghost of Albert King tonight. Now I'm thinking about that. The arrangement I cooked up for this version of Dust My Broom is based off the Albert King version. Of course, it's an old blues tune that Elmore James, I believe, brought to our minds. So we'll go ahead and give you a little bit of that Dust My Broom action. I'm gonna get up in the morning now. I believe I'll dust my broom. Well, I'm gonna get up soon in the morning, baby. And I believe I'll dust my broom. Well, I'm gonna quit the gal I'm loving. My best friend can have my room. Well, I'm gonna write her a letter. Telephone every town I know. I'm gonna write her a letter and telephone every town I know. Well, if I don't find my baby in Arkansas, I'll find her in West Memphis, that's for sure. That's where the dogs run. I don't want no woman, want every downtown man she meets. Well, I don't want me no woman that want every downtown man she meets. That ain't no church girl. Well, she's a no good donut, or she lies out in the street. Well, I believe my time ain't long. Well, I believe my time ain't long. Well, I ain't gonna quit that gal I love and break up my happy home. I don't wanna do that. Dust my broom. All full of great bluesy metaphors there, like dusting your broom. What does it mean to dust your broom? Does anybody know? I've never dusted. I've dusted a room, but I've never dusted a broom. Furthermore, some people pronounce the room rum, like the drink. But do you sweep your rum with a broom? No, that makes no sense. You sweep your room with a broom. And that, my friends, is why people who say rum, unless they're referring to the alcoholic beverage, are wrong. This has been the English language with your pal Zach Hval. Brum. Get out of here with that. Hey, speaking of Albert King, this is unofficially Albert King night here at Musical Hangout. We're gonna do another Albert King song. This is a song called Crosscut Saw, but unlike here at Musical Hangout, we like to break the mold. You know, some folks like to do the rumba version of Crosscut Saw, which was released in 1968, I believe, right about there, on the infamous Born Under a Bad Sign album. But I like to do the 1974 version, because you get to funkify your blues, ladies and gentlemen. And what have I been saying for now months? We like to get funky. We like to get down. Demonstration. Oh, yeah. Now you pay attention, because we got a groove going here. Woo! I'm a crosscut saw. Just drag me across your lawn. Oh, I'm a crosscut saw. Drag me across your lawn. Well, I'll cut your wood so good for you, honey. Oh, I'll cut it so good you can't help but say I saw. Well, I got a double-bladed axe. I really cuts good. I'm a crosscut saw, honey. Won't you bury me in your wood? I'm a crosscut saw. Oh, bury me in the wood. Cut your wood so easy for you, honey. Oh, I'll cut it so good you can't help but say I saw. Oh, pay attention, I got a double-bladed axe, really cut good. I'm a crosscut saw, honey, bury me in the wood. I'm a crosscut saw. Honey, drag me across your lawn. I'll cut your wood so easy for you, you can't help but say I saw. Excuse me. Crosscut Saw, 1974 version. Feels pretty good. What I like about Albert King is, like, he can do straight blues, but he's not afraid to get funky. Many, many great Albert King tunes have just a slight element of funk to them. I think of that song, Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin'. Why are they not playing that on the radio? You know, I would love to. There's a universe out there there probably is a broadcast out there. This is me just thinking off the top of my head. Where Casey Kasem, does anybody remember Casey Kasem? Anybody listen to the radio? Casey Kasem, where I can just imagine him being, I'm Casey Kasem. This holiday season, we're bringing you the music of Albert King. Santa Claus wants some lovin'. Next up, we'll read the letters coming in from the mail. I'm Casey Kasem. Something like that. And then he introduces it, and it's just the most, disturbing song about, Santa Claus, right? So we all know that Santa Claus isn't real, right? I hope not. I hope I didn't just ruin anybody's life. But, Santa Claus ain't real. It's your dad, and it's this dad putting together his bike. And he's trying to get it done, he's trying to get it done so that he can, one, his kids can have a nice Christmas, and he can score with Mrs. Claus, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. What music brings aardvarking and groove together like blues? And nobody does those two things better than Albert King, and that's why he's a king and the rest of us are serfs. Can you dig it? Communism, folks. It's the only answer. Anyways, I'm out of control tonight. We're going to do a little bit of my own tune. Here's a tune called Mr. Francis. And people say you can't use a Telecaster for funk music. And, it sucks to be wrong. We've all been wrong. We've all had dumb opinions. We've all had to course correct. So this is for those of you knuckleheads who think you can't funkify a Telecaster. One that's with a psychedelic dragon on it. Prepare to be stupefied. Yeah, that's right. Am I right or am I right? You can funkify a Telecaster with holy sweet music. It's good for your soul. It's good for your corns as well, ladies and gentlemen. Your corns can get angry at you, and they need soothing. This is another tune from my new album called I Have No Strings and I Must Play. You can stream it at the link in the bio, if you description, link in the description, or you can go to like Apple, iTunes, wherever you're streaming music. There's this random one called Deezer I don't know nothing about, but I'm there. You can even stream it here on the Tube of You. I think there's even a thing called YouTube Music. I don't know. This is what the kids tell me. You know, the kids tell me I gotta be there, and so I show up. Get to use this sweet German pedal from Deutschland called the Minivent. Shout out to our boy and a friend of the show, Greg Koch, whose instrument is right here, the Gristle 90. We'll get to that at a later date. Because I was in the market for something with a little bit more pizzazz for my pedal board. And as you can hear, it gives a little bit of pizzazz, and it gives me a chance to do some fun stuff. And just all in the name of good, clean fun. Can you dig it? The kids are right, says our friend of the show, David Blessman. In Jesus' name. Thank you. Song called Funkify Your Mind off of my spanking new album that's been out for a couple weeks now. I Have No Strings and I Must Play. Yes, I did rip off Harlan Ellison, and yes, I'm aware that he was a cantankerous old curmudgeon. Am I afraid? Not in the least bit. Not in the least bit. I'm not afraid because I'm a fierce and mighty warrior, a Viking warrior. And so are you. Those of us who tune into the musical hangout become Viking warriors by proxy. It's as the ancient scrolls foretold. Nevertheless, so if you want all your friends to become Viking warriors, you got to get them to tune into the show and listen to my music. It's not just a sales pitch. It's science. Alrighty, let's get psychedelic here. Hey, I actually used this guitar to record this tune, interestingly enough. There's a song called Samantha's Lullaby. It's one of my tunes. It's called Samantha's Lullaby. I already said that. Oh, yeah, it's on the Legend of Frankie Bass Stone album. Boy, I'm tired. Samantha's Lullaby. We're having fun. Lullaby. That's hard to say. Either way, we keep on trucking. Howdy, sis says for you, King, and put a little crown in there. Thank you. I'm not there yet. Or is this for Elvis, the king of rock and roll? Yeah, maybe that's what it's for. Let's go with that. Keep me humble. And we're circling back around to Albert King. See, this is why I said tonight, speaking of kings. See what I did there? Sharp, razor sharp. It's Albert King night here at Musical Hangout because we've done a 1, a 2, now 3 Albert King tunes. I guess that works. Oh yeah, you see, this is what I'm talking about with the funk. Yeah, it's a song about how things really aren't that bad. Listen. I can remember the times when I used to cry, and then I saw a man one day and he didn't have no eye. Now I'm doing fine. Lord, I'm doing fine, fine, fine. After all, the police made me a ticket and made me mad as heck. But when I went to pay my fine, my man wasn't got 6 months. Now I'm doing fine. Lord, I'm doing fine, fine, fine. After all. Well, just 'cause you wouldn't make me a steak, well, it put me in a bad mood. But then I read in the paper there was people eating dog food. Well, I'm doing fine. Lord, I'm doing fine, fine, fine. I'm doing fine after all. You always think you got it worse than everybody else. That's a little bit of thing we call vanity. No good. Like a baseball game without a hot dog. Or if you're unathletic like me, any kind of sporting event. We're having a grand old time here. We're cooking up with gas. We're cooking up with fire. Man, you can get so many mileage out of those Albert King licks. You have to keep the guitar face at bay sometimes with those. Boy, it's hot in this room. Boy, it's hot in this room. My AC's in the other room. But I sweat for you because I'm a giver. It's not because I have a certain someone staring over my shoulder amorously. I think I just made up a word. Somebody Google it. All right, let's do some Hendrix. Hey Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? Hey Joe, said where you going with that gun in your hand? Going down to shoot my old lady, you know I caught her messing around with another man. Going down to shoot my old lady, caught him messing around with another man. That ain't too cool. Hey Joe, I heard you shot your woman down. Hey Joe, I heard you shot your lady down. Yes I did, I shot her. You know, kind of messing around town. Yes, I did, I shot her. You know, kind of messing around with another man. Hey Joe, where you gonna run to now? Hey Joe, I said now, where you gonna run to now? I'm going way down south, way down in Mexico, where I can be free. Ain't no hangman ain't gonna put a rope around me. Something like that. I brought a second beer in here just in case, but I think this is going to be a one beer stream. And that's okay. Hey, here's a fun song I wrote. Wow, I got plenty of time left. I don't know. I'm going through this set. This is a song, fun tune of mine called Me and All My Friends. It's a song for friendship and fun. I didn't make my album, but that's okay, because there's always albums in the future. Can you dig it? Me and all my friends. A song for friendship and just grooving along to the beat. In the merry key of G. And now you're up to speed on that. I like to tell the story. I probably told it before. Who knows how many times. I like to tell the story of this guitar because it's apropos of this next thing I'm going to do, which is the last thing. A little Jeff Beck inspired tune. Well, it's actually not Jeff Beck. He stole it from the Beatles. It's his cover of A Day in the Life. But while we're on the subject of Jeff Beck, he wielded this very instrument before it had, well, not this exact instrument. No, this is a replica that the Fender Custom Shop made and sold to me for a pretty penny. But no, this guitar, as the story goes, Jeff Beck used it when he was with a little unknown group called the Yardbirds. And as he was exiting the band to do his own thing, the guitarist taking over was a young fella called Jimmy Page, who had made a name for himself in the session scene in the mid-'60s, playing with some Swedish gal, Joe Crocker, playing guitar on his cover of another Beatles tune, Get By With a Little Help From My Friends. And so he received this gift from Jeff Beck, painted a psychedelic dragon on it, and wielded it for many days and nights in the band called the Yardbirds. But as fate would have it, the band would not make it to the heights of superstardom and would eventually disband. But Jimmy Page would go on to form, from the ashes of the Yardbirds, the band we call Led Zeppelin, or as I lovingly refer to them as Paper Airplane. And on that very first album, which was recorded, I believe, in the spring of 1968, he used on, I believe, 8 of the 9 songs, this, again, it's not this instrument, this is replica, but the Telecaster, that this a Telecaster I'm holding in my hands was modeled after. And then years later, a young kid by the name of Zach would hear this guitar in all of its girth and majesty and think to himself, now that's what I need to do. My entire life is different because I heard Led Zeppelin. Unfortunately for my parents, who knows, I could have been a doctor, a lawyer, a politician, well, not a politician, something approaching successful. But instead, I chose the way of the artist. And as a coworker of mine said, I could still become a doctor. And I said, I already am a doctor. And she says, what are you a doctor of? I said, I'm a doctor of love, baby. HR be damned. Anyways, that's a nice little piece of music history for you. We're going to do A Day in the Life, and then we'll wrap this sucker up. A Day in the Life as recorded by the Beatles, and then later, Jeff Beck. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binaries, that's going to do it for this program. But of course, fret not, your little hearts. I will be back next Tuesday, the 22nd, to do it all again, but next time, a little differently. I'm Zach Hval, reminding you that sometimes the sex is so good that even the neighbors have to smoke a cigarette. Bread is bread, cheese is cheese, praise God. So this old man is driving his brand new Mercedes about 100 miles an hour down the road, and he notices in his rearview mirror that a police officer is chasing him. And so he guns it up to about 125 and then up to 155. And then he thinks to himself, you know what? I'm getting too old for this nonsense. I've outgrown this. And so he slows down, gives a chance for the police officer to catch up to him, and then he pulls over to the side of the road, and the cop strolls up and says, listen, sir, it's Friday. I'm about 10 minutes away from starting my weekend, so if you can give me a reason for speeding that I have not heard before, I'm going to go ahead and let you off. So the old man looks very seriously at the police officer, and he says, officer, years ago, my wife left me and ran away with a police officer, and when I heard your siren and saw you in my rearview mirror, I was afraid that you were bringing her back to me. And so the police officer smiles and says, have a nice weekend, sir, and walks away. A little boomer joke for you. We'll see you next time, folks.